an increase in food stamp benefits for millions and millions of SNAP benefit recipients, and we are talking about a fixed $200 monthly increase to all SNAP benefit recipients. Now, the biggest question is that why there's a need of this increase right now. And look at this. US consumers' prices rise in June as tariffs pass-through begins. Well, this is shocking because inflation is coming according to a number of experts and analysts, and this will change everything for food stamp recipients because their food stamp benefits will not be enough to cover basic necessities and monthly grocery items. And one thing that we all need to understand that the prices of groceries are up by 21% in the past 3 years, and this $200 fixed monthly increase in SNAP benefits will change everything for millions and millions of SNAP benefit recipients. I'm gonna give you each and every detail, but all I need is just a little favor. It takes 2 seconds to please smash the like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So let's start the video with an increase in food stamp benefits. And remember, when it comes to SNAP recipients, they are in need of more money. And why there's a need of more money? Because remember that millions and millions of food stamp recipients, when they use their EBT card, they get to know that the prices of everything that they buy is rising, and now their food stamp benefits are not enough to cover the basic necessities. And why we are talking about it, because remember, in times where many lawmakers are talking about cutting food stamp benefits for whatever reasons, a number of analysts and experts are saying no, it's going to be the biggest mistake in the history of United States. Right now, these SNAP benefit recipients needs an increase, and they need it as soon as possible, because according to a recent report from Gallup, the prices of groceries are up by 21% in the past 3 years, and the increase that these food stamp recipients received this year is just 2.5%, and the next year is projected to be only 2.7%. and on top of it, now these tariffs are coming. So when the tariff applies, what happens next? Now the prices of those basic necessities that are imports from different countries will rise, and this will change the financial situation and the monthly budget of millions and millions of low-income Americans who use EBT card to meet their basic needs. But at the same time, this is what's happening. House Reconciliation Bill proposes deepest SNAP cut in history would take food assistance away from millions and millions of low-income families. Just at times where we need to talk about increase in food stamp benefits because of the recent hike in prices, right now these lawmakers are talking about cutting the SNAP food stamp benefits. And under this big beautiful bill, do you know there's a very bizarre and strange rule that requires you to now work at least 80 hours a month to get food stamp benefits. And this is clearly shocking because you need to understand that there are millions of Americans who are unable to work for whatever reason. First, if you are able-bodied person, it doesn't matter what sort of situation you have to work. But there are some exemptions as well. For example, if you have a kid or kids who are under the age of 14, or if you are taking care of someone who's not able to work, or if you are sick, or if you are 64 and up, then you are exempt from this 80-hour work rule. But for whatever reason, let's say that you have a wife who's pregnant or a family member that needs your support who doesn't count as a family household member, you need to work. So right here, the biggest question is that how Trump administration will deal with it. Well, right now we are not hearing anything that they are going to cut SNAP benefits. These are all talks, but there is the good news, as finally a number of lawmakers, including a huge number of analysts and experts with the support of SNAP benefit recipients, are saying that it's time to increase SNAP benefits as soon as possible before the inflation hits the US. Because of the tariffs, the prices of everything will skyrocket, and before it happens, we need to increase food stamp benefits for these Americans who are struggling right now in this worst inflation, and increasing the food stamp benefits is the only solution right now, because as I mentioned earlier, that the increase, or you can say the extra amount that these recipients are receiving because of the inflation, is just 2.5% in 2025, and the next year projection is very shocking as well, because it is 2.7%. Just imagine getting the benefit increase of 2.7%. So on every $100, that is $2.70. Do you really think it's enough? Because in $2.70 there's a number of candies that you cannot buy. By the way, with the new rules in many states, you cannot buy soda, you cannot buy candies, you cannot buy the food which has additive sugars. So now things are changing very much for these SNAP food stamp beneficiaries, and millions of SNAP food stamp recipients are asking only one question right now: when are we going to receive an increase in our food stamp benefits? Because we used to buy a lot of things with our EBT cards, but now when we go to a grocery store, we use our EBT card. Now we always have to pay something from our own pocket, because the EBT card doesn't cover all the basic necessities that it used to cover back in 2021 and 2022. And why it's happening, as I mentioned earlier as well, because of the 21% price hike in basic needs and grocery, according to the recent report from Gallup. So I would like to ask you, what do you think about this situation? Do you support a $200 monthly increase in your SNAP food stamp benefits, or do you think that your EBT benefits are enough and it shouldn't increase? Well, remember, a number of people are saying that we are struggling, as we read one of the comments on our video, and that comment was really shocking. And the person said that I used to receive $491 in my EBT card, but something happened and it's now only $23 because there's a new rule of the 80-hour work rule. Well, you need to understand that yes, there's a new rule, but we are still unsure that they have already applied this rule to a number of SNAP food stamp recipients. But that was the comment that made us think that what's going to happen to millions of Americans, because according to a recent analysis, around 3.6 million food stamp recipients and the households will lose their food stamp benefits because of some new rules under this big beautiful bill that was passed by President Donald J. Trump and his administration. Well, this is clearly shocking, as right now millions of these recipients need an increase in their benefits. So they should talk about the increase and shouldn't talk about the deep cuts in SNAP food stamp recipients, as House Reconciliation Bill proposes these deep cuts in SNAP food stamps. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.